you have to start with the forgiveness of self. By the end of the day, overthinking will not help the situation. Overthinking will just prolong the situation, because by the end of the day, you'll do what needs to be done. Karibuni. So point number 1 is the fear of failure. I don't know who lied to us that the fear of failure means that we will not resort to failure. This week, watu wa chakula Monday, ninajua niliwaangusha, but it is okay. Sometimes you find you're not in a space to be able to create as much as you want, but that is totally fine, because if anything, I am sliding into a new kind of content that will be able to teach us and we will learn from, and that will come soon, maybe in a month's time or something. But meanwhile, I thought to myself, why not do 5 more lessons that I have learned through my 28 years in this life? Because I saw you guys actually liked the other 5 lessons we did, and I had a lot of response on how much you had learned. Hello kings and queens, welcome back to Dreaming Desert, and if you're new here, my name is Wagoiwa Budhia, aka Gikuyu Woman. Karibuni sana. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, join us, comment, share, and be part of this society, or should I call it community? I hear people calling it a community. So guys, thank you for joining me. The first lesson is the fear of failure. Most people have a mentality of thinking if you are afraid of failure, that failure will not come your way. And I'm very tempted to say that if anything, if actually you settle your mind and your thoughts so much on the track of failure, that you will attract failure. Because the truth is, consequently, what we think about continually is what we attract. But also, as much as that would be true or not true, is to say that failure is inevitable for all of us. At some point in this life, you're gonna fail. But as we said, the attitude between 2 people who got a no is what is determinant to the result of these people. Is the same thing with failure. 2 people can have the same exact situation, fail, but it is dependent on either person, on how they're gonna interpret the failure, and how they're gonna take it, and what they will do after that failure has occurred. So most of the time, including myself, I am very guilty of this. Being afraid of failure is even looking at people who are actually failing and falling and thinking to yourself, why would someone make that choice? I wouldn't make that choice. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have done that, And with that, you put yourself in a box that you think probably, if I do things like this, the results would turn out differently. But also what I've learned in life is we're not totally in control of what happens. We are in control of as much as we can see our sight here. We have bigger goals, bigger dreams and all that, but we don't really have the control over that life. So failure is not to be afraid of. We are not to be afraid of failure. We are supposed to work, if anything, through it and become the best that we can be. Number 2, do not overthink. Just do what needs to be done. Do not overthink. Do not sit there overthinking about a situation, about a thing, about anything. Do not sit there and overthink. Because what overthinking does, it's just a waste of time. It wastes a lot of time, because by the end of the day, even if you overthink 100 days, 200 days, 5 days, the point is you will get to a decision and you will do what needs to be done. So it doesn't really help you to overthink. It doesn't really help the situation. It doesn't really help the thing that you find yourself in. Not worthy of your time. The only thing it makes you do is go round and round and round and round. Number 3, talk is cheap. Talk is extreme. I will tell you, talk is very cheap. Things theoretical na practical, they are not on the same page. Theory is over there to the east and practical for the west. I'm telling you, so many things for me, I've experienced it, especially with motherhood, and I hate not knowing something. And the reality is, we all don't know everything. We all have something that we don't know or are not good at. If anything, we are continually learning, and that is what is life, and that is what is living and actually being alive, to better yourself and to gain more knowledge and to actually get to practice that knowledge. Because also it's a problem if you just knowing and you ain't doing nothing with what you know. Najaza tu kibaba, my friend. Anywho, the thing is, things are very different on ground, and the only way you're gonna know whether you want to do what you want to do, you want to be where you want to be, you want to pursue what you want to pursue, you want to be who you want to be, the only way you can do that is actually getting and diving into situations. Remember, we said you don't have to be completely ready, you don't have to see the end in completion from where you're standing, because the end will always feel like it's too big and it will scare you. But the reality is you need to put your foot in and actually get practical and feel the pain and the pinch and know, bro, nitawezana ama sitawezana. Is that right? So whatever it is you have in mind and you're just yapping about it, get to the ground and actually get to do it. In the field of exercising and weightlifting and muscle building, they talk, it's the language of the gym, they talk a lot about like talk is cheap. Because bro, that place when you lift your weights, you will feel it. Those people who've done leg day mnajua bro, like the next day inakuanga ni mauano. So msi akika hapo anakwambia ongeza fanya nyingine, hata hizo push ups hata nini, you know it is extremely pushing yourself. And for me, talk is cheap got practical when I started exercising and I felt the pain. And number two, when you see people are looking nice out of that work they have done and you just want to say anaiwanga tu chuma anakimbianga tu, bro, try it. Utasikia talk is cheap. And number two, when I got a baby and became a mom, and I'm like talk is really, really, really cheap. Anywho, number three, seasonal friends. Hey, this one ilibidi imenigonga vizuri sana. I'm the kind of person who actually have friends and people who are really close to me, but I'm not the kind of person who has to talk to you every day to make you feel like you're my friend or feel like you have a space in my life. I have very tight people who I talk to maybe probably once in a very long time or once in some time, and we actually get to click and connect. But what I have learned is that in every season there is a new you, and in every phase of life there's a new you. That there are people who are constant always, but in every season and in every phase there are people who come and they're actually seasonal. They're for that particular season, for that particular time and that period in your life, and when it ends they gotta go to create space for the next people for the next season. And what we tend to do, the reason why we don't let go so much, especially of friendships, is because we think that this is it. If I lose this, I will not have anything standing up for me and being there for me. But the reality is you will always have people rightfully for you for that particular time and moment in your life. Life is what it is. Apparently, God will literally place people you need for that season, and the people he knows that you need, not the people you think you need, the people he's sure you need. Because utakuwa too amazed. You just be sure that it is what it is and it's gonna be fine. So let go of people, of seasons, and move to the next season and be confident, even if it means being alone for some time. Bro, do it, because you have to create a community of people who get you. Like for me, I've been feeling it so much, especially with the YouTube world, and it just feels like if you don't have people who get you, especially in this world, I have had others saying that it's like setting standards and whatnot, and it is what it is. This is the world we live in. So seasonal friends, but there are people now in this season who are like, you're doing good content, good job, so do you. So the last point, number 5, this one is very important and very dear to my heart. Forgiveness in this life is key. forgiveness is very, very key. You have to learn how to forgive. And forgiving does not make you weak. Forgiving, if anything, it takes the weight off of you. That's just what it is. But I have learned the forgiveness that I need sana, hata so that I be able to forgive the other person and whatnot, is the forgiveness of self. Like, there's nothing as bad as feeling bad about yourself. There's so much negativity and so much bad things coming from the outside world and around us that might and sometimes consume us, that you cannot afford not to be forgiving yourself for failing. We've said failing is inevitable. You cannot afford not to forgive yourself for the decisions you have made in life. You cannot afford not to forgive yourself because of what also you did not do. Sometimes it's not even necessarily what you did. Sometimes it could be something you did not do. And the only way you will realize all these things and all these lessons that I'm giving you, I told you I am not yet there, a day at a time, is by most importantly going to the depths of who you are. Self-awareness. Ni nani kama Jacinta? Who am I? You understand? What do I like? What don't I like? And I'm liking a quote that I'm reading nowadays that says that, and isn't it funny that we have to go back to the child self of who we are, the baby I was, the baby girl in me, the baby boy in you, and find out what that baby dreamt of, what that baby hoped for, what that baby saw life to be in the future, and actually nikama kuanzia scratch tena. And there's nothing amazing like actually going back to that baby with another baby. Subscribe, share, comment, and be part of us. Thank you very much. See you next time.